Hey you, ready to dive into the latest AI Daily News Digest?
Always exciting to see what's new.
We've got a whole bunch of stuff to unpack, from model showdowns to open source surprises, even some industry gossip. Where do we even start?
Well, I guess the big thing on everyone's mind is the model wars, right?
Yeah, definitely. So many new models dropping.
Google's Gemini 2.0 is making a splash. It's got this flash thinking thing, pretty impressive reasoning abilities, and this, get this, think out loud approach.
Think out loud. Like it talks through its process.
Yeah, kinda. It's fascinating to see, and it's already topping leaderboards. Oh, and did I mention it's EO free in Google AI Studio?
Free. Wow, Google's playing hardball. What's their strategy here?
I think they're trying to get a huge user base, gather tons of data on how people are using Gemini. It'll help them dominate the AI landscape even more.
Smart move. So how does OpenAI's new O1 model compare? I've heard it's a beast, but comes with a hefty price tag.
Yeah, the O1 is definitely powerful, some impressive performance gains for sure. But yeah, the cost is causing some controversy. Some developers are wondering if it's really worth it, especially with Google offering a free alternative.
It's that classic dilemma, performance versus accessibility.
Totally. And it kind of reflects the bigger picture too, right? You've got these big companies with their commercial, often closed source models, and then you have this incredible world of open source innovation happening.
Speaking of which, did you see Genesis? This new generative physics engine that can simulate 4D worlds at crazy speeds, like 430,000 times faster than real time.
Yeah, that's mind-blowing. Think of what we could do with that for robotics training, AI development, even game design. The possibilities are endless.
It's like we can create these hyper-realistic simulations that are practically indistinguishable from the real world.
Exactly. And that's just one example of how open source is democratizing AI.
Mhm.
It's making these powerful tools accessible to everyone, not just the big tech giant.
Makes you wonder what the future holds.
Right. And it's not just about simulations. Tools like Unsloth are streamlining the process of fine-tuning large language models, making it faster and more efficient.
Unsloth, that's a catchy name. What does fine-tuning do, though? Why should developers care about it?
Well, imagine you have a large language model that's pretty good at general stuff, like writing emails or summarizing text, but you want it to be amazing at something specific, like generating legal documents or translating technical jargon. That's where fine-tuning comes in.
So it's like customizing the model for a particular job.
Exactly. You train it on your specific data, optimize it for your unique needs. And that's where Unsloth comes in. It makes this whole fine-tuning process way faster and easier.
Sounds like a must-have for developers.
Oh,
Okay, so we've talked about breakthroughs, but the AI world isn't all sunshine and rainbows, right? There's always some drama brewing.
oh yeah, always. Did you hear about Alec Radford? He was a key figure in OpenAI's GPT development.
Oh yeah, I think I saw something about that.
Well, he recently left to pursue independent research.
Really? Wow, that's a big deal. What do you think that means for OpenAI?
It's hard to say for sure. Maybe he'll join another big player or start his own venture, or maybe he'll focus on independent research that could disrupt the industry in some unexpected way.
It'll be interesting to see what he does next. It's like a star player leaving a championship team. Everyone's wondering what's going to happen.
For sure. And speaking of industry shakeups, Databricks just raised a whopping $10 billion.
$10 billion. Whoa, that's insane.
Yeah. It shows how much investors believe in the future of enterprise AI.
So what are they going to do with all that money?
Probably develop their platform even more, maybe buy other AI companies, expand into new markets.
They're going all in on AI.
Definitely. It's like the gold rush, but for AI this time.
Totally. Okay, let's switch gears a bit. What about the practical tools that developers are actually using? Any exciting developments there?
Oh, yeah, for sure. Have you heard of Modern BERT?
Modern Bird? I don't think so. Tell me more.
It's a newer model that's getting a lot of attention, especially for this thing called Retrieval Augmented Generation, or RAG.
RAG. Okay, I'm intrigued. What's that all about?
Basically, it lets language models access and process external information, which makes them way more knowledgeable and versatile.
So they're not just limited to what they were trained on.
Right. Imagine a chatbot that can pull information from a company's entire knowledge base to answer customer questions.
That's pretty cool. But why is Modern BERT specifically good for RAG?
It's super efficient and practical. Plus, it has this extended context window, which is really helpful for dealing with real-world data challenges.
It's like the workhorse of language models. Not flashy, but gets the job done.
Exactly. And on that note, have you heard about these AI-powered code editors that are popping up?
AI-powered code editors. Yeah, I've heard some buzz about them. What's the deal with those?
Tools like Cursor and Windsurf are changing the game for developers, making them way more efficient and productive.
That sounds almost magical AI writing code for you.
It can feel that way sometimes. Cursor even has this feature called YOLO mode, where the AI makes bolder changes to the code.
YOLO mode. Sounds a bit risky for coding, doesn't it?
It's more about giving the AI more freedom to suggest complex stuff, like refactoring or big code changes based on your instructions.
For when you need to move fast and trust the AI.
All right. And if you want a more cautious approach, there's always GitHub Copilot Chat, which just went free. It even works with Claude now, which is pretty cool.
Free is always good.
Mm.
But with so many options, it's hard to know where to start. What's the word on the street about Cursor and Windsurf?
Lots of debate about which one's better. Some people love Cursor for its consistency, especially with big refactorings. Others prefer Windsurf for smaller projects. They say it's more flexible and user-friendly.
So it depends on what you need and your personal preference.
Exactly. And that's what's so great about this moment in AI. There's so much experimentation, so many different approaches, and the barriers to entry are lower than ever.
You don't need a PhD to start playing around with these tools and see what works.
Exactly. It's like the Wild West out there. Anyone can be a pioneer.
I love that analogy. And speaking of pioneers, the open source community is doing amazing work, making AI accessible to everyone. We've talked about Genesis and Unsloth, but there's another tool worth mentioning, Llama Index.
Oh, yeah, I've heard of that one. What's so special about it?
It's making waves for its ability to build multi-agent systems. Imagine a team of AI agents, each with their own specialty, working together to solve a problem.
Like an AI dream team.
Exactly. And Llama Index makes it easier to build and manage these teams.
That's incredible. What kind of things could we use that for?
Potentially anything, from robotics to scientific research to finance to logistics. Imagine AI agents managing a complex supply chain or collaborating on a scientific discovery.
The mind boggles. We're just scratching the surface here.
Absolutely. And there's other exciting area of research that's gaining traction. Asynchronous RLHF.
Asynchronous RLHF. That's a mouthful. Break it down for me.
It's a technique that could speed up the training process for large language models, which is a big bottleneck right now.
So it's like fast forwarding the training process.
Kinda. It allows developers to separate the model's generation process from its learning process.
Yeah.
So you can train it on user feedback while it's generating new text.
That's fascinating. But honestly, it's hard to keep up with all these advancements. They're happening so fast.
It can be overwhelming, for sure. That's why communities like Discord and Reddit are so valuable, people sharing knowledge and supporting each other.
Yeah, those spaces are crucial for staying connected and informed. And resources like the AI Daily News Digest are super helpful for distilling all the key information.
That's exactly what we're trying to do with this deep dive. It's about providing context and insights and hopefully sparking some inspiration.
Exactly. It's about understanding the bigger picture, not just the headlines.
Right. Because this stuff matters. It's not just about technology. It's about the future we're creating.
It is. And that's something we all need to be mindful of.
It can feel overwhelming at times, for sure.
It really can.
But it's also incredibly exciting, to be a part of this whole AI revolution.
Oh, absolutely. It feels like we're witnessing a paradigm shift in how we think about tech, how we interact with it.
Yeah, and it's not just about the tech itself.
Right. It's the social implications, the economic impact, the ethical considerations.
Speaking of ethics, that's something we can't ignore as AI gets more powerful.
No, definitely not. We need to make sure AI is developed and used responsibly, that it benefits everyone. We need to address those potential biases and risks head on.
It's an ongoing conversation that involves all of us.
Totally. Developers, policymakers, educators, everyday people, we all have a role to play.
But sometimes, with all the focus on the technical stuff and the ethical debates, it's easy to forget about the human element.
That's such an important point. AI is a tool created by humans for humans. We need to make sure it serves our needs and aspirations.
So where does this leave our listeners? How can they navigate this crazy, fast-paced world of AI?
I think the key is to stay curious, stay informed, and stay engaged.
And not be afraid to jump in and experiment.
Exactly. Try out new tools, explore the technical details, join the conversations that are shaping the future of AI.
Become an active participant, not just a passive observer.
Exactly. And remember, you don't have to be an AI expert to have a voice in all of this. Everyone's perspective matters.
So as we wrap up today's deep dive, what's one key takeaway you want to leave our listeners with?
I'd say this. The future of AI isn't set in stone. It's something we're all creating together through our choices, our actions, our willingness to engage with this technology. So embrace the possibilities, stay informed, and be part of the conversation.
Well said. And on that note, that's a wrap for our AI Daily News Digest deep dive today.
Hope you enjoyed it.
We'd love to hear your thoughts, so join the conversation on our social media channels. Let's keep exploring this amazing world of AI together.
Absolutely. Let us know what you're thinking.
Until next time, happy diving.